Hi everyone, welcome to our Learning from Home tip of the day. We are at tip number 42 today, and I will be sharing some ideas on how you can support your child to develop flexible additive strategies. So when I talk about additive strategies, I am talking about a student's ability to use a variety of different ways to solve addition and subtraction problems. And we're talking about a shift from counting strategies to more higher order flexible problem solving strategies. So why are these important? Now, when a student is able to develop flexible additive strategies, they understand and have the knowledge of more than one approach in solving a particular problem. And because of this toolkit that they are able to then look at the problem or the numbers involved in a question and choose the most appropriate and effective strategy to solve that problem. And by having a range of strategies, it also lends itself to allow the child to use one way to solve the problem and also another way to check their answer and the accuracy. And last but not least, by developing these flexible additive strategies, your child will understand why they are doing what they're doing because they have a strong number sense. And I talked about this in our last tip of the day on last Friday, sorry. And these activities or approaches that I will talk about next will be very helpful to use in combination with those number talks that I talked about last Friday. So some flexible additive strategies that I will talk about today include bridging to 10, partitioning whole numbers, and near doubles. So these understandings are very important to develop in early numeracy skills in order to better help your child understand number and use flexible problem solving strategies. So the first one is bridging to 10. And when we are bridging to 10, we are looking at a number that is close to 10. So usually we would do this when we have the number 8 or 9 in a number sentence. And in this case, we have 8 plus 4. So 8 is very close to 10. So what we want to do is bridge that to 10 by taking what we need from the other number in order to turn that 8 or the larger number that's close to 10 to a 10, because we know that when we add numbers to the number 10 or to a decade number, they're very simple to compute mentally. So here we've got the 8, and we know that there are we need 2 more to get to 10. And so we take the 2 from the 4, and that will turn into a 10. And then we know that from the 4, after we've taken 2 away, there will be 2 left. So down here, that's the 2. So then at the end, we have 10 plus 2, and we know that is equal to 12 because like I said before, when you add a number to a decade number or a number that ends with a 0, it can be quite simple. And so that's why we would use the bridging strategy. So when you teach your child this strategy, it's very important to obviously have them understand how to go through the steps. But the more important thing is that they understand why they are using this strategy and how it can help them to add. Another flexible additive strategy is partitioning numbers, or the ability to partition numbers. So when we talk about that, that will link to the number sense, number talks that I talked about last Friday. So being able to manipulate numbers and play with numbers and pull them apart, decompose them. So for example, over here, we've got the number 6. So that's the whole. We've got 6, and I have partitioned that into 4 and 2. Okay, obviously there are other ways to partition it. So we can do 5 and 1 or 3 and 3. Okay, so by understanding how to partition numbers or to break them apart, but still equal the same thing, that will allow your child to be able to add and subtract more efficiently. So here is an activity that you could do with your child, is to roll 3 dice and to have them add the numbers together in the most effective way. So firstly, they'll have to choose which numbers they decide to add together first, and also what strategy they will use to add those numbers. So in this case, there is a 9, a 4, and an 8. And for the example of partitioning, I will add 8 and 8 together, because I know that, so I'm taking 8 from the 9, so I know that 9 can be partitioned into 8 and 1. So because I have another 8, I wanted to add the double, so I added the 8 from the 9, so the 8 plus 8 equals 16, and I know that there will be 1 left from the 9, so I add that onto the 16, and that will take me to 17, and this process is called near doubles, or the strategy, and I will talk about that on the next slide. So after that 17, I've still got 4 to add, but I prefer to partition that 4 into 3 and 1, because I know that 7 and 3 make a 10. So then 17 plus 3 will give me 20. And then the leftover from the 4 will be the 1. So 20 plus 1 equals 21. So I've partitioned the 9 into 8 and 1, and I partitioned the 4 into 3 and 1, just to make it a little bit easier for me to add, or quicker. Okay, so that's partitioning numbers. The next strategy is called near doubles, which I touched on before. So here on the domino, we can see that on this side we have 8 dots, and on this side we have 7 dots. So if I was to add them together, I would turn the 8 into a 7 so that I can make a pair of doubles. So in order to change the 8 to a 7, I need to subtract 1 and turn that into a 7. So then I know that double 7, because I know my doubles. 7 and 7 make 14. But because I held that 1 to the side, I need to now add it back to the total. So 14 plus the 1 will give me 15 in the end. Okay, so that's another quick and efficient strategy to add numbers that are almost double, so consecutive numbers. Okay, so we call that near double strategy. You could also use this strategy for subtraction. So when we talk about additive strategies, remember that they apply to both addition and subtraction. So for example, if I were to use the inverse, so 15 minus 7, I could think that if I know that 7 plus 7 equals 14, then 7 plus 8 must equal 15. So then I could use the inverse and recognize that 15 minus 7 must be 8. Okay, so by understanding near doubles, I can quickly and effectively solve addition and subtraction problems where numbers are consecutive. So for those little tools that I use there's a great website which I've added the link to here, called Toy Theatre, and there are a range of teacher tools to use, which are very, very handy. So there's dice, there's the 10 frames that I talked about, there are counters, there are partitioning frames, cards, and so on. So Toy Theatre, if you can have a look here, that would really help to support your child with learning these strategies, and also to use with the number talks as well from the previous tip of the day on Friday. And there are also some maths activities or games that your child can engage with as well. I believe this is the last tip of the day, because it is the last week of learning from home. So I just wanted to say a big thank you for being a part of this and connecting with the school community. I hope you have enjoyed all of these and found them useful. Because they are still up on our communication platforms, please feel free to go back to them, to review them, to revisit them, and to continue to ask questions and share your amazing experiences with the Campsie School community, so that we can all keep learning from each other. I wish you a fantastic weekend and a smooth transition back to school next week. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. Bye.